Well, hello. What's up? Long time no see. I do have a good video of building cedar planter boxes that I have not edited together. It's multiple videos, you know me. I'm not good at this. But we're going to talk about a little bit of business and business strategy in the reselling world. So yay! Anyways, I've had some good sales this week. Did 2 whatnot shows, did an everything show, and then I did a knick-knack show. It was the most boring show I've ever done. But again, thank you for everyone that came in. I say boring for me because so many little things, and people will buy them, but I started almost everything at $1. The deal of the day was Winter Antiques Josh, shout out Josh. He bought probably 5 pounds of Berkeley power baits. Those are plastic worms for fishing. They're all brand new. They were flukes. I don't even know how many packs are in there. 20, 30, I don't know. And if you buy fishing lures, you know. But sold the whole thing for $5. So deal of the day. I kind of regretted it, but a big deal. I already made my money back off of it, but that was the deal. And I'm having a yard sale tomorrow, and that is what I'm doing right now. Going to all my storage units, getting stuff. This is the big one. I'm getting all my stuff out. I'm even going to be setting up stuff, vintage clothing, like a live sale. So people will be getting deals. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, I did a little TikTok video. It was too long to make a short here. So I was talking about business and in general, really, but it certainly pertains to reselling, is I had a few examples. Okay, I had a Wii Sports Resorts game that I sold on the Bay for nearly $30, and I also had sold a family Bible. Oh, shoot. I almost missed my turn. Now I'm in the havoc lane. I know you're like, why are you videoing and driving? It has nothing to do with that, guys. I'm looking at the road. I was in the turn lane for the interstate, so back off. Anyways, you always get some excitement with me. Anyways, the person that bought the Bible, like I said, I have a Jaden's label printer, and sometimes I'll set my phone down and that activates another label. Well, in my haste, take your time, read your labels. I put a label on the game, and it sent it to the person that got the family Bible. Well, they got the family Bible and the game. The person that ordered the game did not get the game. Well, the person that got the Bible messaged me, shout out to them, and told me they got the game. What do I want to do? And full disclosure, they kept messaging me. I wasn't trying to procrastinate, but I got busy and forgot. They're like, hey, what do you want to do? It kept reminding me, and I was like, hey, okay. And I thought I could just send them a label, and I'm sure you can, but, it's too many buttons to press for me. So finally, I just said, hey, I'll send you a refund if you'll send it back. And I sent them, I think, $15. The Bible sold for like $20, so something like that. And so they sent it back to me. Well, meanwhile, I told the customer with the Wii game about the situation. Super cool buyer. I mean, your dream buyer. He said, man, mistakes happen, no big deal. Just keep it. I'll get another one, and I'm sure it'll sell. And I said, dude, I'll tell you what, if I get it back, I said, I'll just send it to you on my dime. Well, fast forward roughly a week or so, it's been a little bit, and probably, well, it is all my fault that it took that long. I got it back in the mail, so shout out to that buyer with the Bible. Very cool. Well, since I had to pay $15 to get it back, I messaged the buyer with the Wii game. And I said, look, I told you I'd send this for free. I'm a man of my word. I said, but I wanted to ask you first, if I listed this for $10, including shipping, would that be a fair trade to cover my shipping costs? And I said, but I'm a man of my word. You say the word, I'll send it for free. And he said, dude, no problem, but I've already bought one. He said, I wish you the best of luck. Mistakes happen. I will leave you positive feedback. God bless. And I said, you're a real one. So since he has one, because I was just like, I'm just sending it, man. That's too cool. And then I'm like, well, he has one, so I'm gonna send him a couple games here, and just as a gift, just good faith, man. You don't run into that very often. I do get a lot of really good buyers, though. I will say that. Very, very few times do I get really bad ones. So anyways, that was that situation. The next situation was on Depop. I sold a purse. I think it was a Fossil. Well, when you list on Depop, when you go through, it's really easy listing, but whatever your last metric was, like new or used, if that stays up there unless you change it. Well, if you get in a hurry, apparently I listed that as new, and it wasn't. It clearly wasn't. And then she said, she wasn't hateful, but just like, hey, I got to the bottom of this purse, there's something stuck in it, and it's clearly not new. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. So I messaged her back immediately and said, hey, that's my bad. That's my mistake, getting in a hurry. I said, I just looked, it does say new, so I'm just gonna send you a full refund. And if I can send a coupon, because I don't know if you can do that on Depop yet, I'll do that. You just keep the item. Well, she sent me a message today. Hey, I got the full refund. She said, I really appreciate you. That's really cool. Not many people do that these days. And was very, very appreciative. And I said, hey, I appreciate you. That's my mistake. I said, it's really simple for me. It's simple business. I wouldn't want someone to do that to me. So I don't lie or cheat. I do make mistakes. I get in a hurry, but I will always make it right. So feel free to, reach out to me whenever if you're unsatisfied. Now that you do get some kind of, scammy type of things, but hey, it's part of business. So bringing that up, I said, and as a buyer, I said, I just dealt with a seller that I thought was doing something scandalous. Well, I bought something on Whatnot and I won a giveaway. Well, the giveaway was significant, and that caused me to buy more items. Well, the giveaway wasn't shipped for a while, and I sent a message, and it took a while for my items to arrive. But I said, hey, just checking out. I said, I'm a reseller, so I get it. I just want to make sure it's coming. So a little bit long shipping, but hey, I've done the same thing. Well, when I got the giveaway, it was a pair of child shoes. They were like knockoff Converse All-Stars. I mean, I wouldn't give them to somebody for free. And I was like, no. And the whole thing is, I can buy my own shoes and stuff, but if you offer a giveaway and it's significant, you should do that. I've made mistakes where I was going live on Whatnot, and I wanted to start something for $15 and it was still on $1, and then somebody bought it for $1 and it's whatever, $30, $40, $50 item, $25 for that, whatever it was. And the person really, really cool. I'm not going to shout them out for this one. They're like, hey man, you can cancel that. And I'm like, no, I'm sending it, man. And that's what I did. And the other day I listed a Murano glass piece, and started, I think, $15 or something like that. One person bid, and they won it. And I'm like, But I sent it. Didn't want to, trust me. I have those thoughts too, that, man, I could just keep this, cancel it, do something else. And I'm like, nope, hey, I'm in it. Now, granted, I profited off it because I buy really cheap, but, I don't know what it's worth. Couldn't find one to comp it against. It may have gold flakes in it. I don't know. Anyway, but that's the life. So the whole point being is, I tell people this all the time. I don't lie. I can't stand a liar or a cheater. Now, that doesn't mean I don't ever make mistakes. I mentioned I ran an Italian leather jacket live and showed one little flaw at the bottom. Well, I watched the video back, and I never do this. And I could see when I held it up, there was some like scarring on the sleeve. There was damage on the sleeve. And I was like, man. And I had a coat that it was a Mark Anthony. Well, apparently Mark Anthony New York is the lower version. Well, I comped everything before. I saw the majority of what I thought was really valuable. And I was like, that's a $150 jacket. Well, I said that in the live. Well, no one bought it. So I went to list it, and the comp came up like 29 or 30 bucks. And I was like, I don't like to do that. Like, I will say in my videos, hey, this is valuable. but don't take my word for it, blah, blah, blah. But if I say something, I feel sure about it, I mean it. But sometimes I get it wrong. So my point being is, as a reseller, as a buyer and seller, we complain a lot. I do, for certain, about buyers, that they're annoying. But I kind of got tired of it for myself, of just like, hey, these people don't owe us anything. If we don't have buyers, we don't have sellers. And I made the comparison to the WNBA. I think it's kind of funny. And my girls play basketball, we're hoop heads. But it's funny, this WNBA stuff, they want all this money and demanding money. Well, it's simple business. You don't draw that much money. You can't pay everybody $2 to $10 million a year. You're not filling up the stands. You know, you can say the NBA owes you and all that, but it's just simple business. And it's the same thing in any industry is, you know, if you do the right thing and you operate with integrity, it will come back to you. I believe that. And sometimes it doesn't directly, and you may not even notice it. You may just gain more trust with people. But man, I've sold a lot of things. Shout out to Alex. I sold him a book live. I did a book show. I had a bunch of autographed books. I still have a bunch. And, you know, I comped them. And I didn't find any that were super valuable. They're $30 or something. Well, he got one sold, I think, 120 something. It may have been more, maybe less, but it was over 100 for sure. He bought it, I think, for $3 or $5, $5 at the most, probably. Well, it is what it is. I paid $3 a piece for all those books, so you know, I sell stuff like that. It's sometimes I'll run it, and I don't have the followers on whatnot to, you know, start at $1 and sudden death, but I don't mind giving deals. Especially if people keep coming in, it's part of business. But like I said, it's easy to complain about buyers. It's easy to complain about sellers. But the truth of the matter is, we are in the service industry. It is up to us if we want to have that sort of reputation of, you can trust him, you're going to get good stuff, and that's the way it is. So maybe it's time for all of us to kind of look in the mirror, and instead of getting upset, question yourself. Was their complaint valid? Am I sending the best product I can? Am I describing it the best I can? And that's what I'm trying to do. I keep going through all my eBay listings, and I have 1,300 plus. Some are duplicates. I'm working on that. And I'm going to sell a bunch Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm having a 3-day yard sale. So I'm going to have to go through there with a fine-tooth comb. And I keep going through there trying to fix stuff, because the truth is, if you have good items and you describe them well, and you have fast shipping, and you don't send them to the wrong place, you're going to sell. That's the bottom line. We can whine and complain all we want. You know, eBay's dead. Well, you know, mine has been dead, and I'm below standard because of late shipments. I've went over this a million times. Well, the truth of the matter, that's on me. It doesn't matter if it's the post office fault because I put them on the dock and they don't scan them to the national. Well, that's still on me. Get them there earlier, you know. Do your due diligence, because you know, my eBay sales are slow, and I'm looking on, you know, TikTok and YouTube, and other people's aren't. So hey, we can make all the excuses we want, but if it is to be, it's up to me. Same thing on Poshmark. I make videos sort of in jest about how it sucks and I'm not getting sales, but the truth is I'm probably too high. There's some reason, either that or, you know, the way you work it, whether you boost your store or send offers, there's some reason it's not selling. Either you've got terrible items, which I don't believe I have. I am trying to 86 all my, that's restaurant talk for, do away with. All my, you know, little items on eBay, like little glass candle holders and stuff, they all have value, but I am tired of the stuff sitting around, so I'm gonna yard sale it. I'm gonna have a 50-cent table, $1 table, and move. And if it doesn't move, I may donate some. I may wait it out on eBay, check my pictures, adjust accordingly, drop the prices, whatever it takes to sell. So that is my motivation of the day. It is a little gloomy out, but the weather's going back up. We had snow here, and tomorrow it should get to 60, the next day 70. So, you know, we're gonna have whatever, 8 winters here. So I'm fired up, gassed up, super motivated. I got cards, comics, collectibles, knives, vintage clothing. I'm putting some vintage clothing in my yard sale. Matter of fact, if I have time, all of it. I may add stuff every day, and I'll treat it like live selling. If I get $5 or $10, so be it, even if it's listed for 40 or 50. Volume, sell it, get it gone. That way you can buy more. We all love to buy. So that's it for today. I hope you found something helpful here. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And I did quit multicasting my Whatnot shows to YouTube because I'm playing music and it's copyrighted. And I've noticed my viewership's way down. Either that or my videos are terrible. But I'm going to quit doing that because it, you know, like I said, look in the mirror, what's going on? Maybe your videos suck, whatever, or maybe you're playing, whatever the case may be, look at yourself first. It's not everyone else's fault. It's your fault. It's my fault. That's the truth. I know it's harsh. Take a deep breath. But anyways, love you. Stay positive. Stay picking. Stay rad. Until the next video. I just said it.